Prime Minister John Briceño's cabinet ministers arrived one after the other with their entourage at the Biltmore Hotel in Belize City to be sworn in as the People's United Party transitions into government. With COVID-19 measures in place, each minister and their guests had their temperatures taken and hand sanitized, just as the Attorney General Magali Marin-Young and the PM Chief of Staff and Cabinet Secretary Stuart Leslie did. And from there they went to the second floor where the Governor General, Sir Calvin Young, was waiting to swear them in. The first was Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Natural Resources, Petroleum and Mining, Cordell Hyde. Hyde will now be responsible of the hotbed of corruption, which is the Lands Department.
It's a gigantic task. Lots of our people don't have land. Lots of our people have been condemned to poverty over the last few generations, and that's what we're trying to reverse now. So it's a task we take very seriously. We're humbled, honored and humbled.
The Lands Department is a hotbed of corruption, so said the former Prime Minister, and so said you during the debates in the House. How would you ensure that that doesn't continue under your ministry?
That's our full commitment to the people of Belize, to make sure that the Lands Department work for the people of Belize.
And the people of Belize want immediate change. That's the reason they came out in record numbers in favor of the P.U.P. The public's focus will be on the government and its new response to the COVID-19 pandemic. Minister of Health and Wellness, Michelle Shabat, says that a complete change of strategy must be implemented.
We're not happy with the approach that was taken in the past, and we think it needs to be looked at, and we need to come up with a new policy and an approach to this COVID. Obviously, from the upsurge in numbers, the past policy did not work.
So we're looking at stricter measures.
Well, everything is on the table at this moment.
And at this moment, the economy continues to suffer as it struggles to bounce back. It will be the job of the Prime Minister and Minister Karim Musa, who is in charge of New Growth Industries, and Andres Perez, the Minister of Blue Economy, to make this happen.
Growth industries are any types of industries where you have a boom. There's expansion and development in a particular industry. In years gone by, it has been fish farming and shrimp farming and that type of industry that is new to Belize. And so I look forward to the challenge. As you know, throughout the world, the first world countries have been taking advantage of the hemp industry. And so that is one of those new growth industries that we look to explore the possibilities and certainly to create the proper structure and legislation in place to govern this type of industry.
The new kid on the block is the blue economy, and I am certainly excited to serve in there. It entails all the marine reserves, everything, fisheries, ecotourism, how do we harness power, maintaining the environment sound, but at the same time sustainable growth, that we find that equilibrium with preserving the environment, but at the same time growth must come economically as well. And I think that is a brand new, everything is brand new. So we have a unique, all of us, the entire country and ourselves, we have a unique opportunity to become pioneers. So it is important that we build a strong foundation for years to come, what is the Ministry of the Blue Economy.
From the blue economy to agriculture, food security and enterprise, that ministry is the responsibility of Jose Mai. He too is looking at generating growth and development in the economy. Mai says that this can be done if we cut the food import bill by half.
In Belize, we must export more and import less. We must produce what we consume, and we must consume what we produce.
Are we able to produce vegetables, produce at that magnitude, the one the country needs, without importing from Mexico or Guatemala or other countries?
We may not be able to do everything, but we can definitely reduce. Definitely reduce the amount of imports. We import about $200 million worth of foodstuffs. We are saying that we can do up to 100 million. So we can cut the food import bill by half, of course, over a period of time. And that is what we want to do, and that is our goal.
Anthony Mahler's goal is to bring back tourists. He is the Minister of Tourism and Diaspora Relations.
How do we get back to some level of growth in or normalcy in the industry, growth in the industry? How do we get heads in beds? How do we get some people in the airlines coming to Belize? From my discussions with some people in the industry, they see some signs already, but it's going to take a while.
In the meantime, you continue to work for the industry to be really, really good for the reopening or the full return.
Well, like I say, we have to restructure, reorganize, recalibrate, and refocus so that we can return. Whenever it returns, we are prepared at the highest level.
But the challenge that this government will have to overcome to prove itself is daunting. Belize is being affected not only by COVID-19 but also by hurricane floodwaters. Minister of Sustainable Development, Climate Change and Disaster Risk, Orlando Herbert, is keeping an eye on Hurricane Iota.
At least the south might be affected with some heavy rainfall. Right now they are thinking somewhere between 8 to 16 inches of rain in the south. So our people will have to be activated. As a matter of fact, I had called on Major DeFore a few days ago, and he has his team already activated, and they're looking out for what response is needed in that department.
Each and every government department has been financially affected by COVID-19, limiting public officers in effectively carrying out their duties. Henry Charles Usher is the first-time AIR representative. He is now the Minister of Public Service, Constitutional and Political Reform. He says reform in the public service is key in the P.U.P's achieving its goal.
We all know that reform is needed throughout the public service, and really if you want to get any of, or if the government wants to get any of our Plan Belize agenda items done, we need to have reform. I'm happy that the Prime Minister has the faith in me to have given me this portfolio, including the constitutional and political reform portfolios, because it's something I believe in. It's something that the people have been talking about, asking for a number of years, and we need to make sure that we put in place the right reforms, the right measures, so that our system works on behalf of the people.
And do right by all.
Reporting for News 5, Hipolito, Novelo.